a collection of people now coming from all over the world. So yeah, it's a growing community. It's really good. So hopefully we'll get some people joining us pretty soon, and we can all start a bit of a chat. I am moved over this side tonight a little bit because the angelfish are spawning in that corner over there, so we'll kind of stay out of the way. See how that goes. I have just fed them as well, so there's a bit of action going on there at the moment. But yeah, it's nice to see the angels are spawning again. I knew it was coming anyway. There's been some kind of like spawning behavior going on for the past few days. But yeah, and I've still not solved the mystery of the Plex either. Good day, Reese. How you doing, buddy? Good evening, Ian. Thanks for joining us. Hope you've had a good day, both of you. Yeah, so the angels are spawning. That must have started probably early this afternoon. They were spawning when I got home from work. So we'll see how they do. But they always spawn on the wrong side. If they spawn on this side of the aquarium, they do pretty well. But they spawn on that side of the aquarium, they don't. They kind of lose them. Thing is, the filter intake's over there. So it's just they do it all the time. I don't think it's a filter intake though where they lose them. I think they lose them at egg stage over that side anyway for some reason. They struggle defending that side. Good, Reese. Nice. Had some baby fries today. What's had babies, mate? Some of the guppies, is it? It's always nice, mate, isn't it? Getting get a new life and that in your tank. Like I say, the angels are spawning on this side here. So take a look at it later on. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, guppies, mate. Nice. You'll end up with loads. Good way of making a little bit of cash. Try and get them sold on, mate. So I've still not done anything with the wave maker or the air pump. Unfortunately, just not had time. So try and get it done this weekend. I think that's what the video will be this week. It'll be a promotional video for Hiver. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's not a time. It's kind of take too much on. So how many babies have you got, Reese? Or is it too hard to tell? Nice, mate. Nice. 80. We have the new blue light for the tank today. Nice. How was that looking? What light is it, Reese? Because I can go blue light on the flugels. I kind of don't. Well, it kind of goes blue light for like about a minute before they go off. It's hard to tell on a phone though. It doesn't kind of look right how it looks on a phone. Looks totally different. So like tonight, you'll see them. The lights will start going. I think they actually start kind of going down at 8 o'clock from 8 o'clock anyway till 10. But as it gets to like near 10 o'clock, they do go blue light. But you can't really tell on a phone. It's weird. It's like we had the Northern Lights the other week, and the photograph on my phone was way better than how we actually could see it. But yeah, it's weird. So the shrimp tank's doing good. I'm going to do a little bit of a video about that for Facebook more than anything. No, it's not going to go. I put it on my channel on the members bit, but yeah, the shrimp tank's really took off. There's like loads of babies in there, and the CO2 tank's got loads of baby shrimp in there as well. So everything's doing good. Shrimp have always been a bit of a pain in the backside for me, to be honest. But finally seems to have cracked it. Not the easiest little things to keep alive in smaller tanks, especially. But got some kind of weird addiction, aren't they? Something about shrimp. It's weird. So is anyone who's in at the moment, what kind of fish have we all got, guys? What we're keeping? I've got a tank of rainbow fish, tank of angels, shrimp tank, tank with celestial pearl Daniels, and it's also got shrimp in there. That's the CO2 tank. Yeah, man, the next way, what other fish you guys are running out there? The angelfish are having babies at the moment. Well, spawning in the corner there. Nice. I'll check them out, buddy. I'll check them out. Are you keeping blue lights on all night, Reese? Out of interest. What are you doing with it? Oh, have you got a marine tank? That's a good point, actually. Marine tanks, do they go blue light all night? Something I don't know. Because I don't really understand the marine side. It's something I've never looked into. So if I look into it, I end up wanting it. I already want it enough, but not enough to next to stage is looking into it, and then that's it. Once you start looking into it, you ain't stepping back. So is that light crap? Just wait a second. That's better, isn't it? Too shadowy. Tired as well tonight. Diogo, how you doing, buddy? Ooh, good evening, buddy. I hope you well. Yeah, so I still have not done a single thing with the wave maker or the air pump that comes from Hyger. It's down to time. Just not had time to do it at all. It's just in it. It's just mad, isn't it? Life just gets in the way of everything, doesn't it? But do a skate tour. Okay, Elijah, no problem. Let me have a look. Just have to unplug you. Okay. Bear with. Okay, so we'll start with the shrimp tank there. Neocaridina, red cherries in there, and there is a few little endler guppies in there as well, all fully planted. Kind of let that just go and do its own thing, really. Shrimp kind of prefer it that way. And then I've got the rainbow fish tank there. All kinds of different rainbows in there. There's some Crepensis in there as well. Pretty stunning black red-tailed shark chilling in there as well. Normally around about this time of night, after I fed them about 5 minutes before we came on stream. So he gets a little bit boisterous just after feeding. Do keep an eye on it, but there's no problems. Then this is the angelfish tank. I'll come over this side. Try and keep off any glare. Angelfish tank is forest scapes. There is pictures of this on my channel and that. At the moment, there is some spawning angels at the back there. Always get in the way though, don't they? Like they do. But yeah, so currently the angels are spawning in the corner as we speak. So they don't really tend to be that successful when they spawn on that side. They are way better when they spawn on the other. And then over to the CO2 tank, which is like kind of new to the CO2 thing. But the Rhinokai Mini is coming on way better now on dosing iron. The booster philander's pretty sound as well. I don't know what the gold plant at the back's called. Can't think. Amano something, or Manios, or Amania, some I can't think. And then, but the Plustrious Super Red's looking dire. So I think I'll be replacing that over the weekend if I get a chance. So there we go, mate. It's kind of the tanks I'm running at the moment. I do have some tubs with just like plants in as well. To be perfectly honest, mainly Anubias. Like, I've just got tubs of Anubias. It's mad. Anubias is a slow growing plant, but if you put in CO2 on it, it ain't that slow. Speeds up rapidly if you put CO2 for it. In 12 months, the CO2 tank running provided the Anubias in all the tanks, and they are Anubias ever. So yeah, it's pretty mad. Ahmed, how are you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us. I'm not showing your name there, but guy who said super, cheers, buddy. Elijah, thanks, mate. I put the white lights on all day, and before I go to bed, I put the blue light on. They're £80 a tube. Oh, is it tubes? Is that on your fresh water, that, Reese? Yeah. Finished my coffee within 15 minutes of being on stream. Do you not get blackbeard algae problem, Reese? No. Or do you? Because mine's blackout all night. I blue light it for a minute and then that's it. Mine's blackout all night. But it did freak me out the other day when woke up. I'm at an age where you wake up for a pee in the middle of the night. And a lot of time, like, aquarium light was on. Weird. Bit, it's crazy. Crazy, I don't know. But then it's kind of like failed to connect to the app for a bit. So I unplugged it, plugged it back in, and it seems to be in all right since. But yeah, it just had a bit of an episode where one of the it was the backlight on the rainbow fish tank just decided to come on. Right? To be honest with you, I always thought you were. I thought you got a really bad black beard algae problem off blue light. Why do you do that, mate? Just out of interest, why do you do that? Because I'm like total blackout. I'm quite intrigued on why you run a blue light all night. Yeah, so as you can see, there is quite a few eggs on there. So yeah, it's quite. I love it when the angels spawn, but they're not really that successful, to be perfectly honest. They do have more success on this side, way more success. But for some reason, they go that side all the time. I don't have the facilities to put them into another tank. Plus, I don't really have time to be angelfish eggs with babies as well. But leave them to it. If they survive, they survive. It's harsh reality, in it. It's kind of like it's one of them things. If I could save them, I could save them, but I don't have the space or anything to do it. So. Oscar Guy, how are you doing, mate? Thanks for joining us. Love from India. Well, amazing, mate. Amazing. We do get people from all over the world, to be honest. I was with I don't really know, Tank, maybe Tank. I don't know if I pronounced your name wrong there, buddy. I do apologize. So yeah, we're getting people from all over the world. Get quite a few Americans coming, but and Australians. Nice to meet you too, mate. Nice to meet you too. My favourite aquarium plant, Tanner. Thanks for joining us, mate. I am a big lover of the lotus tiger lily, and like, it's pretty mad, really. But that was looking stunning last week, but I've had to cut it back just so it comes back better again. So, but I do love the lotus tiger lily because it's an easy plant, and with like correct care, it's amazing. It's just like, honestly, when that was like at its best, when there was lilies, there was tight, there was loads of them, they were bright red, and on the streams it was like a 2-hour stream, and you'd get asked about 10 times at least, what is that plant there? Because it's a centerpiece to your aquarium. They are like proper spectacular. But yeah, but my tanks are Anubias heavy. I do like Anubias because they're obviously easy as well. Kind of venturing into the CO2 world now, mate. So then they kind of, I'm a bit of a nightmare for swapping plants around and trying different things. So yeah, that CO2 tank's coming on all right though. Do I like arowana? I do, mate. They're probably like one of my favourite big fish, arowana, Oscar guy. I'd love arowana, but for it to settle in like right in my head, I'd need a big enough tank to home arowana. You know, I'd want something big enough where I wouldn't kind of feel guilty. I might try it, Reese. I know, like I say, when I had blue light, when it's like it did, but it's only for a minute where it's on blue light for me. So I don't know why. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere that it's like a BBA problem, but if you don't get BBA off it, all good. Do you run CO2, Reese? I have Oscars. They do fight with each other. How can I solve this? You want to try and get some sight breaks into your escape, Oscar guy. You know, just to take just when they see each other all the time, just to break it up helps loads. So I'd say plants, but I've never had Oscars, and I'm not sure. Can you have plants with Oscars? It's something I've never had. I don't know if you can have plants with Oscars, but if you can have plants with Oscars, or to try and like calm any tensions in your tanks, it's plants are the way forward. Just breaks the sight. Nice. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so Oscar, can you have plants with Oscars? I don't know if you can. Something like I say, I've never looked into. Never had them. But if not, if you can't have plants, then yeah, just do it with escape. Just try and break up so they don't see each other all the time. Just calm shit down. Cheers, Oscar guys. Thank you for subscribing too. Means a lot. If anybody who's in at the moment wants to ding that subscribe button, guys, that'd be great. Just try to grow the channel. So that'd be awesome if you could do that. And the like button. How many tanks am I running, Tanner? Yeah, mate, I'm running 4 at the moment. Then I've got 2 tubs with just like plants in. I'm kind of toying in my mind to do like a racking system somewhere in here, but it is space, and I'll be honest with you. There's like it's like got to be the worst house for all. No, it's a flat, but it's got to be the worst place for like electric points. Honestly, seems like everything in your house runs off electric, right? Yeah. Honestly, it's unreal. I have to have like I've got multi plugs everywhere because it's crap. There's no plugs. I know it's a nightmare with a tank anyway, because a tank probably takes an average 5 plugs, done it, to run the thing. But even then, it's like just to plug my TV in and my Skybox, I needed a multi plug. You know what I mean? That's how bad it is. Yeah, so I'd struggle putting any more in here because there's no more PowerPoints. Oscar guy, 2 a.m. in the morning, mate. Yeah, hard ass man, staying up to that late, mate. You get your head down, buddy. Good night. Take care, buddy. Thanks for subscribing as well. Have a good kip. Daniel, thanks for joining us, buddy. Homework is pretty easy, mate. Or either. I like, what is it now? See, I'm a bit of a red root floater fan, I am, but they need proper, like, strong lighting, really. But and then a kind of, is it the dwarf lettuce? Is it the dwarf lettuce with the long roots floating plant? I love them as well. They're awesome. On the right tank, they're the way forward, mate. But a lot of floating plants are easy as long as your flow isn't too strong. They kind of take care of themselves. But it's like Salvinia is like rapid growing. So it's one of them, really. It depends what you want to use it for. If you want to use it for decoration and red root floaters, or like I say, the dwarf water lettuce, if you just want it to like cut light out and something fast growing that's going to suck the nutrients out of the water, then Salvinia, something like that. Roast the world. Good evening, buddy. Thanks for joining us. How to grow Val? I do have Val growing, mate. It depends what your system is. So I've had Vals in quite a few of my tanks, and it's like when I started the CO2 tank, I was trying everything in it. It was like plants were getting swapped all the time, and I put Vals in with CO2, and that was like, wow. I had to take it out completely. I had to take it out because it just like within like a week, each were like 2 foot long, and so crazy, mate. So it depends what you've got in your system there, mate. So I always do a good quality soil, always. The better quality soils, in my opinion, because you just want to make sure you try to give your plants the best start, and that is where it starts. Your plants, setting up your tank is where it starts for your plants. Give it a good something really decent to root into, something full of nutrition. That's the way forward, and then build up from there. But yeah, sorry, mate. I was just checking something out there. So yeah, it depends what your system is there, Roast. Like I say, I had Vals growing in here, but the angels just kept pecking at it all the time. So it still is kind of there, but it doesn't get long because it just gets savaged by. I don't know if the Plex don't have a munch on it as well. So you just got to watch. I think you've got to watch what you put in there as well. Because it's either my angels or my Plex are like decimate it as they do with floating plants. But if you want to grow Vals like proper, decent and fast and looking proper bright green, mate, CO2 in your tank. Honestly, because that's what it just went crazy in my CO2 tank. Honestly, it was unreal. I was having to trim it like 2 days, twice a week. I was having to trim it, otherwise it just like grew that fast. Reason why your two Plex are fighting? Reese Plex are can be a little bit dodgy, mate. Yeah, I've just looked because one of my Plex has got a little tear on his tail, so I did put some Melifix in there. But Plex can get some more caves in it in your tank, mate. They do like to chill in a cave. It'll be a territorial thing. There's I've got 5 Plex in there, I think. Could be 3, but I don't know. I don't know about these. I've got 2 gold nugget Plex in that tank. I've got 2 starlight bristle nose in that tank. I've got a green phantom, but I only see the green phantom and the starlights. The gold nuggets never come out and when I say never, I say the last time I saw them was December the 23rd. I only know that date because that's date stamped because I took a photograph of them. And I think I'd only had them a few days, and I've never seen them since. 2 of them, and so I don't know if they're in there or not. I don't know, but there's like 9 caves in there, and then 2 shop-bought caves in there. It's like you can't really tell because the Anubius has just like took over. But yeah, if they are fighting, mate, caves are the way forward. And if that doesn't stop it, you just have to separate them. Plex can be like that. Plex can be like that. Have we ever tried Chana Marilis? I haven't, mate, no. I don't think I have. I'd have to, if I had some way of like having a look what it was and seeing if there's a different name, because what I am finding out doing these live streams is like people call things different in different countries. You know, like we call cardinal tetras, obviously. But then I think in America they're like known as full red neons or something like that. I can't think what it was now. Someone might be able to tell me, but I know they're not known as. Or someone in the stream the other day was like, "Can't believe you call them cardinals as such and such." It's like mad as. Let them fight. 2 fish enter, 1 fish win. Yeah, mate, that can be only one. So has anyone picked up any new fish this weekend? Or has anyone got any plans for next week, like for the weekend coming? Any new fish, any new tanks? Oh, that'd be awesome if I could go and get a new tank this weekend. Do you know catfish sucker? Do you know? Bullseye snakehead. I take it that's quite a big fish, mate, isn't it? I'm not familiar. I am familiar with snakeheads, but not like a bullseye snakehead. But yeah, mate, I take it is a big fish, buddy. Is it? I'd love a big fish tank, but it'd have to be in a massive aquarium. It would. It won't sit right. When I go in shops, and some shops will like have a 3-foot tank and have a 2-foot fish in it, and you're like, just doesn't sit right. Evening, Sam. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're having a good evening. Just need to plug us back in because I don't want to lose you. Fine. Oh, it's like so fiddly. Bear with us though. Went for a bit of a walkabout, didn't plug us back in, so can't be losing you all down to a dead battery. Picked up a school of exodons. Oh, nice, Daniel. Nice. Good, bud. Thanks. Doing well. Good, nice, Sam. Kind of come over this side of the tank tonight because the angelfish are having babies. Or I keep saying having babies. It's tired. The angelfish are spawning. So I'll tell you what I will do. I know I'm a bit of a knob. I've just unplugged us, Anna. I just plugged us back in. What I'll do, I'll go and we'll have an update on the angel babies. Let's have a look what's going on. See if we can still see in there. Just because the lights are going down. Oh God. Let's see what we can get going on in there. So the angels have spawned on in this tank. There is 2 filters running. There's the FX4, which is like overpowered for this tank anyway, but it is pretty decent. Let's see what we'll do. We'll come around here and see if we can get a better. Oh, here we go. But before the FX4 went in, I was running an Oase, and the power on it just wasn't enough to clear the caves. So I bought this filter here, just off Amazon, It is a pretty decent filter, to be honest, just to add some more flow. And then the Awaze broke, and we kept this running and introduced an FX4, which I seeded. But I've just kept it running anyway. And these sods love it. They spawn on it all the time, but I'd had plans of giving it a clean this weekend, that. I might still be able to give it a clean yet. We'll see. But so I had plans of giving it a clean this weekend. And right next to it is the inlet to the FX4. So they probably will move the eggs, to be perfectly honest. They normally do. They normally move the eggs onto the Anubias plant there, which is even closer to the inlet of the FX4. So, yeah, dilemmas, isn't it? But there we have it. Angelfish are spawning. I'd like to see them. I have been able to catch them actually laying before as well, which you will see as a short. If you are watching at the moment, guys, if you can just click on the subscribe button and also the like button as well, it just helps the channel. Here we go. So she kind of lays the eggs. If she's still laying, she might not be laying at the moment. We'll see. Because if she's just dropped anything there, he'll come in after and fertilize them. Quite a mad one, really. Is he going to come in? No, see, she might just be. I don't really know what she's up to at the moment, but he's not coming in. So there we go. Spawning angelfish. Mad. Quite a few eggs, as you can see. So we will see. Watch this space. But it's always nice. It's hard. It's kind of sad that you can't really I've not got the facilities to be able to separate them or anything like that. But it's always a good sign when fish are spawning in your tank that everything's good. So that's the way I look at it anyway. If the conditions weren't right, they wouldn't be spawning. That's the way I've always looked at it. When you see fish spawning or fish laying, live breeders like intensive anyway, aren't they? But if they're spawning, then all good. Good evening, Pete. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. Sorry, I couldn't really have a look at the chat then when I was showing the angels. But yeah, it's quite nice when you've got stuff like that going on. Saeed, thanks for joining us, mate. Hope you're well. Buyers, yo, California, yay. Oh, mate. Do you want a swap? I'll come to California, mate, and you can come and live in sunny Manchester in England, where you've got more chance of getting rust than a suntan. To be honest, I'm not even joking. That should be Manchester's selling point. More chance of getting rust than a suntan. Unreal. Whether the fries just died. Oh, seriously. They'll soon grow those. Like baby brine shrimp's a good one, mate. Bee pollen, I love feeding my fried bee pollen. I'm a big lover of feeding bee pollen to my shrimp tanks and to my tanks when there's fry. But you can buy hatched baby brine shrimp, mate. You just got this little spoon, and you don't even have to put the spoon of it in the tank. If you just dip a little tip of the spoon in and just shake it off and put it in the tank, there's like thousands of little baby brine shrimp, and they're great for fry, mate, and bring them up really well. And you just stick them in your fridge if your missus will let you. or just put them in the fridge out of the way of anyone trying to put them on a sandwich. Bit of caviar. How to set up a better fish tank for breeding? Well, they don't want any much flow, mate, because obviously they nest at the top, don't they? But it's something that, I'll be honest, buddy, it's something I've never done. But I am under a belief that they need warm air above the tank. They need the air above the tank needs to be warm. I know that because otherwise it causes. What I was led to believe regarding betters is that the first gasp of air they take from the surface has to be kind of warm, otherwise it gives them swim bladder issues. If anyone can correct that, then I'd be quite willing to listen. But I was told that from like a proper, real like knowledgeable guy. So I can only assume that's true as well. So, and that comes from going in a shop and seeing there must have been about 20 pure white female betters in a tank, and every one of them will lay on the bottom. And I was like, why are they all lay on the bottom? Have they just gone in and it's shock? He was like, no. Says he's bred them, and the first gasp of air wasn't warm enough, and it gave him swim bladder issues. So I was like, didn't even know that was a thing. So, but as for setting one up, I think just not much flow, mate. Really, as far as I'm aware, I did set up a little 920 litre tank for a better, but I had shrimp in there, and the shrimp weren't doing anything, so I put a better in there. And the crazy thing was, then the shrimp just like exploded, but the better wanted to munch the shrimp, so it was set up originally more of like the tank was set up for shrimp, and I kind of redesigned it a little bit, and then added the shrimp back in and put a better in. So yeah, I kind of wanted a shrimp more than better though. So yeah, I rehomed the better. But I have a bit of a thing for shrimp. I love them. Have I bred cories before? For breeding cories, Sam, cold water change. So I'd condition them for a week, feeding them bloodworm. Bloodworms, like feed them bloodworm every day and get it down at the bottom so they're munching on bloodworm. Great way of conditioning all fish anyway, but get it down at the bottom, condition them for a week on that. Cold water change, and then let it go. Cold water change starts quite a few fish spawning, but especially cories. And then keep an eye out for them, mate, because they can eat their own eggs, and probably will eat their own eggs. So just have to keep an eye on it. There are scatterers, aren't there? Wow, voice went there. They are egg scatterers, so they go everywhere. So it's like, I'll be honest, I've never seen any baby cories in my tanks, but I have got a lot of cories. I do have quite a few cories in both my big tanks. And I've never seen any baby cories, but recently, when I've been like feeding and watching down at the bottom for the cories and that, there's definitely some like cories in there that are a lot smaller. So I've never seen them in there as fry, but look at it, it's so heavily planted, so, and it's just caves, and there's like 9 caves in there, so they've just been like chilling. I'm not sure. I'm not even that sure if I've got 3 starlight plecs in there, because I've got so I bought 2 starlight plecs, a male and a female. It was a lucky, well-informed guess, if you will, right? Yeah. So I'd gone into the shop. They couldn't sex them because they are bristled. Starlights are a bristle nose, so the male will get bristles, the female will get a little bit, nothing too major. And they were too young to sex. So I kind of looked at them and I was like, you know what, mate? I think that one might be male, because I was like, There's the slightest of bump on its nose, if you will. So so that take that, and that's got nothing. So I'll have a guess that could be female. You know what? It was like just like crazy. I got it right. So they did breed. You could tell there's a video, a little short on my channel of the male in the tunnel waving water over the eggs, and so going forward now, like 12 months, I know I've got a male and a female for sure, but all of a sudden I've got two starlight plecs that are round about the same size, and both haven't got bristles. But I don't know, because I've Googled it. Can a male bristlenose lose his bristles? And they can. They can lose the bristles through either poor water condition. The water conditions are right. They're sound. I've done all the tests that's found. Or they can lose the bristles if they want to attract a female. So, but it's the size thing as well. So I kind of do feed like down at the bottom and then keep my eye out for 3 coming out, but never. So I don't really know. Honestly, plecs are like, do my nutting. Do my nutting. Play tricks with you. I don't even know how many plecs I've got in there. Possibly 5, maybe 6, could be 3. I don't know. It sounds mad, doesn't it? But that's the story of the plecs in that tank. See, it's crazy. How can I judge aggression, behaviour, and betters? Saeed, they're all different, mate. That's the thing with betters. They're all different. They all have their own little personality, mate. You'll have like, I could have put a better in my shrimp tank, and he'd have been buzzing, not a problem. Yeah, they can just like not asked, just swim about, don't care, live side by side. Or you could get another better, and he'd be like, yeah, lunch, yeah, lump. You know what I mean? So they're all different, mate. They are all different. Just got to get one and watch it. But like, they're all going to be aggressive to each other anyway. And like, even try to breed them's pretty, it's pretty tough, you know, breeding them, because the natural born fighters at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's because it's just not recommended putting any other anything frilly or anything with a male fighter. But yeah, I'd look into it, mate. So right, so Saeed, if you go on, right, stay on YouTube, go on to Fish Keeping Answers. He's a shrimp guy, Richard. He's a shrimp guy, but he's also writing a book at the moment. I think it gets published within the next couple of weeks, and he's writing a book on betters. So I'm pretty sure if you go to his like latest post or video and ask him a question, he'll be quite willing to answer me. GP-ish, thanks for joining us. We kind of do this 4 days a week. We do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around about 8 till 10, and then we do Saturday afternoons, which tends to be 2 till 5:30. That's kind of judged. Tonight it's judged by the lights on the tanks. You know, that's the way it is. Saturdays is judged more by when I get hungry, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, that's how it is. But yeah, it's good to join us, mate. There's people from all over the world come in and offer their own stories and knowledge and all kinds of things. JV, thanks for joining us. Been a while since I watched you live. Well, it's good to have you back. Fire away, buddy. Antonio Rodriguez, good evening. Hope you are well. Tank behind you. How many percent do you do during water change? What's the schedule for your water change of the tank behind you? It's weekly or bi-weekly or once a month? Right, Jay. So, right, it's a 300 litre tank. I don't even take water displacement into account regarding rocks and all that lot. But so I try to do like about 10% weekly. I do weekly water changes, Jay, because like I fertilize and like the rainbow fish tank, it's the same. I do that 40%. But in there, mate, I fertilize the plants daily. So yeah, I do a 10% water change in that weekly. But the spawning angelfish behavior is kind of like that kind of has quite an effect on how I do water changes, mate. So earlier on in the week, like Friday, it kind of started, the angelfish started like separating the tank off. There's 5 angels in there, the 2 that are spawning, they're pretty much telling the rest of them to get out of town. So that goes on for a few days. So last week on the live stream, I did like a 20% in there, and knowing that there was some spawning coming on. So yeah, so depending on whether the eggs are still there at weekend, then that'll depend whether I do. If they've gone, the eggs have gone, then it'll be a 10% water change, mate, as usual. I kind of think everything benefits from a water change. Cold water change, I do a cold water change. It comes straight from your tap through a nose pipe. It benefits quite a lot of fish. For a lot of fish, kind of, it brings on spawning behavior. It kind of plays a bit of a joke on the fish because they think that the change in water temperature means a change in the weather, and then they spawn, and that's kind of how it works. So, and I believe when I've like read articles of like proper fish breeders, I believe if you're breeding cories and different fish that are triggered by cold water changes, if you've got a thunder and lightning storm in your area, where like obviously we don't feel it, but the air pressure changes and there's like more like ozone in the air, if you will. If you do a water change at that time, apparently like everything just goes poof, spawn like crazy. That's from an article I've read by some fish breeder in one of the fish keeping magazines. I won't plug it, but yeah, that's from just an article I read. So, but yeah, Jay, I do thrive to try and get 10% a week in, but like I say, it just changes with spawning. How big is it, Squash? Thanks for joining us as well, buddy. Squash Cosmo. Thanks for joining us this evening, mate. It's nice to see you. How big is the tank? Not a problem, Jay. Not a problem. For anyone who's in at the moment, guys, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, if you could just ding that subscribe button and the like button as well, it just helps the channel grow and hopefully get recognised by a little bit more of the YouTube algorithm, if you will. Depending on how 30-litre bio-orb. See, like, they're probably just chilling, mate, and just try to find the way. See how it goes. I've never had a bio-orb, to be perfectly honest. I have looked at them, though, because like, I don't have room, and I can still dream at the end of the day. But I'd like to do like a terrarium in a bio-orb. I think it'd be pretty cool. But just see how they go, because if they just keep swimming around constantly, have you got plants in it and that, so they can kind of like something to retreat into? And I know it sounds daft, but give them something, got something for them to do. So you use cold water straight from the tap and then dose the water to dechlorinate. I do, mate. Yeah, that's how I do it, Pete. I've been using buckets of warm. What's best? Right, buddy. I've always done hose pipe for years. Hose pipe straight from the bathroom as it is in here, straight from the bathroom into the tank. I use the same pipe to extract water. It's, if you see, it's on a washing machine U bend holder thing. It's set on one of them, so it's set at a certain point, so I know how much I'm taking out of the rainbow tank every week. I say the same amount out, and then come over here and I do like kind of do it by eye, but I know whereabouts on the tank to take it to. So yeah, mate, straight from the tank and dechlorinate the water on the way in. Never had a problem with it. Yeah, do it all the time. Rainer, thanks for joining us, buddy. Hope you're well, mate. Not seen you for a couple of streams. How's it going? It's full of fake plants and fish decor. Yeah, just see how it goes, Squash. They're just probably just like finding the bearings. If they've only been in there, how long did you say they've been in there? A couple of hours. Yeah, it's only been in there playing today, mate. You probably see a totally different fish in the morning, mate. Once the light goes out, it's kind of like for new fish. I think that's why they say don't keep the light off, isn't it? But it seems to be like a bit like a reset, doesn't it? Lights out next morning. You tend to find your new fish, unless they are skittish, tend to be all done, settled in. It's dead easy, Pete. I do both these tanks in like about an hour, and on stream it takes about an hour and 20 minutes, I think, roundabout on stream. Off stream, not if I'm not talking to the phone. Rapid. A little bit faster in the summer, you can kind of put it in a little bit faster. But coming into the colder months, Pete, I will just slow it down a little bit, as not to like shock it too much. But yeah, like at the moment, water's not that bad, is it? So it's yeah, as the colder months draw in, it will take a little bit longer. A lot to do, crazy man. Yeah, mate. It's life gets in the way, doesn't it? I'm just like, I sat down and thought, right. So I had the plans of doing. So I promote my channel on a Facebook group, which is pretty hard to do because they don't like you doing it. But this Facebook group let me promote the channel as long as like I give them a bit of a mention on things like this, and I make a few videos for them as well. And so like someone's asked me to do a video on shrimp, so I kind of got all that written out, and then I wanted to film it on Monday. I was off work on Monday. I had a funeral. The funeral was at the same place my dad. We cremated my dad. And to be honest, once I come out of there, I couldn't be in. I wasn't in the mood for doing a video. So work's kind of stacking up because I've got a video for that. I've got 2 videos to do for Haiger. I've got videos to do just for the channel anyway, for you guys. And like, it's like, Jesus Christ, no, I don't know where I'm going to find the time. Because at the moment, obviously with the nights are drawing in out, so it's bad lighting as well. So I totally understand, mate, about having so much to do. Nice, Reese. Nice. Get them moved. Get them fed up, man. All good. You have your filter off till you've dechlorinated. Nah, will. Just let it run. It's right. It is a bit of a right. It's a bit of a myth. I'm just trying to think who did the video. I might be wrong, right? I might be wrong. It might be Aquarium Co-op, but I'm not 100% sure. Someone did a video about washing your filter media and your sponges and all that in tap water and buckets of water. And I think they scientifically kind of proved that the amount of time that your filter media is in tap water as you clean it and then put it back in your tank kind of doesn't do much anyway. But I still do mine in tap water, I've read the article. I'm not sure who does. There's a video going on about it on YouTube anyway, and it's like, it's not really that much of an issue, you know, but we all get told these things and you take it on and just do it, don't you? But when like scientists are coming on saying, no, you don't have to do that. So yeah, mate, I just pump it straight back into the tank. Never had a problem with it. Done it like that for all the years. I've been in the hobby now for over 40 years, and getting water to my tank has always been an issue. Not with a hose pipe. I even on Amazon, Pete, I run it from my bathroom. So how'd you get a hose pipe onto your bathroom tap? Amazon have these like, rather than describe it, I'll show you. One second. It's way easier to show you, isn't it? So there we go. So yeah, I just kind of looked on Amazon and got that. It kind of like, so it's adjustable, so you can like, so it fits loads of different taps. So yeah, you just kind of put it on your tap, screw it up to the right thing, clip that down, which holds it and makes it watertight. Clip your hose pipe onto that. Boom, piece of cake. Water. No carrying buckets, dripping bleeding water everywhere. Because like, this is laminate flooring in here, it's rented, so there's no way in the world I want to be spilling water in here. Give it a go, Pete. See, it's all good. Just keep an eye on it, the squash, mate. It's understandable though, mate. We all do it. How many times do you buy, like, how many times do you, if you buy a shoal of fish, say you buy 12 cardinals, for instance, how many times a day for the next week do you count them? We all do it, don't we? I wash my fillers with tap water. Yeah, mate, this is it, innit? I do believe it is right that it doesn't really have any effect whatsoever. It doesn't wipe out your entire filter. It doesn't, because it's not in there long enough. You know, the chemicals are there just to like, so we can drink it at the end of the day, but it's not like maximized chemicaled out, is it? Whatever it is they put in it, so we can drink it. Because that's all we're taking out of it. That with dechlorinator, you're taking the chlorine out, aren't you? That they put in it so we can drink it. So, but it's not in there that long. It's not, the filter media is not in there that long. It's one of those crazy myths that come across in this hobby that are just like, just not true. Like 2-second memory. You know what, Reese? I'm thinking of I'm thinking of kind of doing the same. I do have 2 tubs going at the moment. They've got plants in them, and I'm thinking about putting some endlers in there because it's warm enough. It's right next to a little drinks fridge, so it keeps it warm. I'm just going to think about throwing a few endlers in there because I kind of want to get all the endlers out of the shrimp tank because they just breed like bloody rabbits, and it's doing my head in. The shrimp don't get chance at food because it's like the guppies are all over it. Might just leave a couple of small male endlers in there just so there's a fish in there to keep them detritus worms down. AJ, hope you're well, mate. Found a distinguished British fellow. I wouldn't say I'm that distinguished, mate, but I'm definitely British. I'm starting to think they were going extinct. I know, mate, there's not many on YouTube, is there? They're all American and that, aren't they? Well, there's a few of us about, buddy. There's a few of us about. Gravel and live rock got more surface area than a sponge. Yeah, Rainer, that's it, innit? Doesn't make any difference. I do wash them out in tank water, but I kind of use the tank. I use that water afterwards. So when I do my filter media, I wash it in tank water because the tank water is full of fertilizer anyway. So when I just let it settle in the bucket and I kind of pour half the water out and then I pour the other half into like a 5-litre tub, give it a good shake up, and I water my plants with it. My house plants like thrive off it. Honestly, it's crazy. They go crazy for it. It's really good. definitely a way of utilizing your water. Zinga, Zinga, hi there, buddy. I'm not sure if I called your name out before. I can't remember. Yeah, so I'm hoping this weekend might be able to get the wave maker on. That'd be cool. I'm looking forward to the wave maker. I'm gonna do a bit of I might do a bit of a spruce job on the wave maker. Well, with the wave maker first before I kind of attach it to the side. So I'm thinking with the wave maker, if I hold it in the water and kind of blast around all the anubias, it's just going to blow out all the crap in it that's settled in there. Do it just like as I'm doing the water change on Saturday. Maybe. I may have to do it the week after. Don't know. Or is the wave maker strong enough that once it's on there, it'll clear all that out anyway, just over a longer period of time. I've never used a wave maker, so if you want to make a real big wave, make a wave box. Right, come on then, Rainer. Go on then. What's a wave box? Fill us in, man. So anyway, guys, everyone that doesn't know, Rainer does breed seahorses, so he's our resident seahorse breeder. It's good to have him in. So yeah, so come on, mate. What is a wave box? So I'm a bit like that with the wave maker. I'm looking forward to installing the wave maker, but I'm not sure how the Lotus will react. And to be honest, I'm having second thoughts regarding those homemade fertilizer tablets as well, because I've made my own root tabs I'd seen it, I've researched it, and I put one under the Lotus. I don't really think the Lotus is doing that great, so I'm a bit like, maybe it's not. Maybe they're not great. I've always noticed. I'm not gonna drop any name. I'm not sponsored channel by anyone anyway. But well, I kind of am by Hygo a little bit. But Tropica root capsules. That's kind of what I've always used. And I've noticed if I put like one of their root capsules under the Lotus, within like a week to 10 days, the Lotus just like pops. And I'm not getting that on these root tabs that I've made. So I don't know whether I'll be carrying on. I'm gonna I'll buy some tropical ones this weekend and root tab it with that and see how it goes. I finished all my tropical root tabs in there on the last Saturday stream because I've root tabbed all along there for the Sag, because the Sag is like he's doing what I wanted it to do. So the Sag is actually carpeting along the front, which kind of if it does, I'll be buzzing. Because kind of that's what I was looking for, but it definitely is carpeting. So fingers crossed. Hopefully it does well. Are they the root tabs you use, Rainer? The Deneur ones? I've never used them. I don't even know if I've seen their root tabs, mate, to be honest. But you do notice a difference, don't you? So that's kind of like, I've never. Yeah, the same as the Tropica, mate. They are the same. I don't think I've ever seen them in the UK though. I think I've only ever seen Tropica, and maybe API in the odd shop, but they tend to be like Tropica that you get around here. But you do notice within like a week to 10 days after you've root tabbed, you do notice certain plants just like proper benefit from it. UK's different since Brexit. Don't really think so, mate. No. Stuff still gets through, mate. Brexit thing, right? I won't obviously go into it too much because it's not like a political channel. But what people seem to forget with Brexit. So obviously, Britain left Europe, but then COVID struck and shut the world down. And I think a lot of people see what COVID did and blame Brexit. That's kind of how I see it, mate. So, but you don't notice. There's no like food shortages. There's like, you get the odd social media thing where there's like food shortages, and there's like photographs from when COVID happened. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I rate sea chem tabs. So I will check them out, actually, Will. What kind of price are they looking at, Will? Sea chem tabs. I'm kind of liking a bit of sea chem gear, to be honest. I've just got sea chem iron for the CO2 tank. Because the CO2, right, I'm going to just grab a drink, guys. The CO2 tank, if you've checked out the build on my channel, it's like just warfare grass along the front, and then behind that is a row of the Rhinokai Mini, and the body was looking ropey. Wasn't looking good at all. It was not much red in it. Anyway, the guy called Jax, who comes onto the stream quite often, he told us like, oh, dose iron. So I was like, right, okay, dose iron and dose phosphorus. Now, I'll be honest, I've still not been able to get all the phosphorus. I did get phosphate, dose that a little bit. Yeah, so I've been dosing iron, and wow, it's made such a difference. It's like the red plant, like the Alternanthera, the Rhinokai, that's looking awesome. Plus just super red. I don't know what's going on there. I will take that out this weekend and have a look at it, because it's just looking shabby. I don't really get it. It's had a really good. It's like it was either Tropica. I can't remember. I only did it a few weeks ago as well. It's either tropic soil or fluval stratum, something like that. I think it's tropic soil. But yeah, so it's got a decent soil. So I don't really know what's going on with the super red. Ah, nice. That is a problem with like the tropical ones. You get in air in them. They do say like put a pin in it, but my substrate is pretty deep, so I do make sure it's pretty deep down. But yeah, my own made ones, to be honest, I'm beginning to think they might be a failure. But I tried. I'd seen a video on YouTube saying that you can make your own, and technically you can if you can make thousands of them for like 20 quid. But if it don't work, no point, is there? So it's just like tried, and I've not noticed the lotus hasn't erupted like it would do normally. In fact, looking pretty shabby. Well, it's not looking shabby, but yeah, it's not looking how it should do after like a couple of weeks after being root tabbed. So unlucky, worth a try. Would have been quite a decent video to put out if it had worked, but yeah, didn't work. Maybe I should do a video and say, look, didn't work. I don't know. I might try them, Will. I might order some on. I might order some. because I'm after a book on Amazon, so I've got it sat there to be ordered. I might order some sea chem ones, give them a go. Like I say, I'm well impressed with the iron, and I like it. Because alright, so I fertilised this CO2 tank with APT3, but red plants do need that little bit extra. And the Amania palasolata, or something like that is called. May have that nailed, may not. Amania palasolata, I think that's what it is. It's like a gold plant, and that was looking. Some of it was thriving, but some of the stems were going a bit crappy. So I did dose, because like Jax was like, yeah, phosphorus, but I couldn't get phosphorus, so I got phosphate because it releases phosphorus. So kind of went down that line. And yeah, the crappy stems, the ones that were looking a bit shabby, they've started sprouting some new growth. So it must have worked. It's a learning curve. The CO2 thing's a learning curve for me. I'm going to learn about all kinds of stuff now regarding what different dosing and things. So you can buy nitrogen as well. I think it might not be nitrogen. I'm sure it's nitrogen. No, I'm pretty sure you can buy nitrogen. So I'm like, you're gonna have to look into what does that do. What does dosing nitrogen do? Is it better to dose a complete like APC3, or is it better to dose everything separate and then you can adjust it yourself? I don't know. We will find out. I'll take you on that journey as I go along on it. We'll kind of do it together and see how it goes. Check out the EI method. What is the EI method, Will? Well, I think I've looked at this. I think you've mentioned this before, but I have a memory like a sieve, mate. Make your own ferts. Yeah, this is like I say, this what I kind of did with the root tabs, but I don't know if it didn't work. But yeah, I will get into that side a lot more now. Now I've got it running a lot better. I think it is going to be better the dosing separate in it than an all round. Kind of noticing that already. I still dose the APT3, but the extra iron is like proper working. Might have to see. So I nip down to my local shop this weekend and see what red plants they've got and swap the plus. I do like the Plustrous Super Red though. I do like it, but for some reason it's just like it's gone really, really crappy. It's supposed to be the cheapest way, is it? Oh, even better. Even better. I'm gonna look into it way more. I like tinkering, so it kind of suits me really. And I know different things do different things. My dad was a proper keen gardener, and like in his shed there was like nitrogen in there, there was phosphorus in there. You know, it's kind of like, so it is definitely something that obviously you need, like it's like all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna have to look into it and see what they all do and kind of learn how to recognize deficiencies, I suppose. It's a learning curve, but like I say, we'll do it together. We'll find out what the score is. Should be interesting. Oh, little Corey got shooed off there from them angel eggs. So got to admit, they do defend the eggs pretty well on certain areas. They did lose a load. I did a video on. There was a little short video knocking about where they went onto the middle plant there and they just got kind of ambushed, to be honest. It's I'd set my phone up to film them just because they were spawning and I could get a really good picture on it. So I set it up on a tripod and just sat there and let it do it. And when I was watching through, it was like Well, actually, I think I'd gone to get a drink or something like that, and I'd noticed that there was no eggs. I was like, what's gone on? Luckily, I was like, well, I filmed it, Anna, so I did look back on it and just got ambushed. One angel kept trying to sneak in, and as both parents kind of go off to see him off, Crebensis just like other angels came in. It was like that was it. It's wiped him out. Is this how? Do you do it this way, Will? Are you a CO2 plant lover as well? Don't the angels take the fry too? They probably do, mate. They could eat them away. I know they've had them to like just free swimming stage. They're kind of like just finding the fins, if you will, kind of like coming off a leaf and just swimming around a little bit. But and then so I don't know if it's the angels that are taking them or other fish in there. It was never set up to breed angelfish, that tank anyway. It was never set up really to breed anything. It was the actual tank was set up originally for rams. If rams bred in there, happy days, you know, and they did at the time. But like, I've gone through it before where I told you everything just got wiped out in that aquarium through unknown reasons. You have CO2 and good ferts. So what fertilizers do you use, Will? Once they're out, I'm going to order all salts. I'm trying mixing it up. I will look into it, mate. The EI method. When it gets wrote down. I will check that out. Because I'm intrigued. Like I say, the CO2 is a learning curve for me, Will. It is. It's I'm kind of I set the CO2 tank up about 18 months ago, and I've kind of messed about with the plants. Anubius just kind of went crazy to supply the rest of the tanks with Anubius as well. And probably too much because I couldn't part with it. Just like putting it into tanks, and I've probably like overplanted, especially this. I've way overplanted this scape because that scape is like just total. I spent a day doing the root work on the scape, so he's like, it's just, oh man, yeah. I just wouldn't part with the Anubius, so I was just putting it in everywhere, and I've kind of like probably really kind of ruined that scape a little bit. Too much Anubius because it was like it's like a forest with tree trunks going up and root systems going around rocks. There's like pictures of it on my Insta and things like that, but yeah, I've kind of been a bit daft really. Just a nice tropical one with everything in. Yeah, well, I it's the same color. I use one called Neutro Plus. Right, so there's Neutro and there's Neutro Plus. Neutro Plus is for CO2 tanks, but I do use it on the bigger tanks because my a few of my plants were showing a potassium deficiency, so I kind of looked into it and started ordering the Plus instead, and it did get better. I use APT3 on my CO2 tank because a guy who's like last year he finished 28th in the World Aquascaping League. So 28th in the world, not bad that, is it? So kind of he recommended APT3, so I use that, and I am happy with APT3, but say it's just adding the extra iron, and that has like massively worked on the reds. So I will. So all right, mate. I'm enjoying chatting with you. It's see, this is what I like about this this like live stream that I do, and like calling it Fish Club, because people ask me questions and I'm not like a hive of information. I don't know everything, but we can put it to people in the chat and they know, you know. And like, I'll be honest, Rainer, who's like crazy for seahorses, he's a quite a hive of information anyway. So it's good having these people in, so we're all learning stuff. And like, say, well, I'm learning the CO2 stuff. So talking to you is like helping me broaden my knowledge on it. And then I'll go away and I'll look at the EI method, and hopefully it kind of teaches me a bit more about it. Currently just finding a bit of time to learn about plant deficiencies and things like that, but because that's where I need to be at. I need to start looking at what different plant deficiencies look like. You know, like I say, Jax came in, he was like, I showed him it, and I was like, look, my Rhinochyme mini's like pretty crap. So he needs to like phosphorus and iron, and now it's looking like way better. You know, it's still not like where I want it to be at, but it's getting there, you know. And it's only been dosing it a week, so it's made a massive difference. And then you get people that say you shouldn't be fertilizing. I'd put a video out called the Planted Aquarium, and I'm not doing a planted tank, I'm just talking through what's needed in a planted aquarium, from setup to like keeping it running. And someone commented saying, well, I turned it off when you said you fertilize every day. Your plants need food, and if I had the capacity to do 2 tanks side by side with exactly the same plants, one fertilized, one not, I would do that video, because there is people that have done them videos on YouTube, and fertilized tanks just win hands down every single time. So when people are saying, "Oh, you don't have to fertilize your plants," you do. You do. I know. Like some flake foods do have a capacity of like plant fertilizer in there. I don't know if you know that, but they kind of do. They do help fertilize your plants a little bit, flake foods. But you need to feed your plants as much as you need to feed your fish. If you want a thriving tanks, like how my plants are thriving, and you do get asked questions on Facebook, Insta, like YouTube, and like people ask, how do you get your plant like that? Do you fertilize? No. Go and fertilize. Works. It's not a waste of money. If you want your plants to thrive, it's not a waste of money. I have a bit of I have a subscription regarding my fertilizers. It's like every 3 months I've set it out now. Every 3 months they send me a 5 litre tub of fertilizer. I've set it at 3 months at the moment because I've got a bit of a backup. I'll build up a fertilizer. I may have to cancel the subscription in a bit, but yeah, I love. You've got to fertilize your plants. Simple as. Doesn't work, not. Doesn't work, not. I'm gonna, because I've got a memory like a sieve, right? So I'm gonna write Seachem. I'm gonna try Seachem tabs next time. I'm gonna order some. They may just knock my Amazon order to over 35 quid, so I get free delivery. So I've got a book. I've got a book on shrimp sat there. I want the book. I have actually got the book. I've got a digital copy of it on my phone, but I'm old school. I want a proper book. I want something I can hold. to go in with my book collection down there. So yeah, shrimp. It's to be honest, again, it's Fish Keeping Answers. His book on keeping Neocaridina cherry shrimp. Proper decent. Really, really decent. Can you get rid of scratches on the glass of the tank? I just scratched the glass. How deep's that, Reese? I'm not sure if you can get rid of it. Maybe like something like, I'm not sure if there's anything that you could rub into it to like kind of make it look like it's gone. There must be something they can do, because they do it on chips on windscreens, don't they? Sanding magnet, yeah, that is a problem, isn't it? That is a problem. I don't use magnets me nowadays. I just use a non-stick scouring pad. Just works way better. Got all full control. And if you use a white one, I use a white one so you can see if there's any green spot algae on your glass as you do it. Bloody brilliant. Best thing they've ever made for the aquarium, that. Non-stick pan scouring pads. The white ones. They're about £2 for about 20 of them. And you can just throw them away when you've done, or when they're knackered. Use snails. Yeah, mate. I do like snails, me. I'd like more snails in my bigger tanks, but the rainbows eat them, and I take it. The angels eat them in that, because you don't really see many snails. You get the odd one pop up. There is a bit of a thing of assassin snails in the rainbow tank, though. You do see them knocking about, but they kind of go under the gravel, don't they? And once I was looking at the gravel, and the gravel's kind of looked like it was breathing. It was kind of pumping, and there was about 8 assassin snails all kind of digging in. It was mad as crazy. They're a bit of a thing, aren't they, assassin snails? Because they say get rid of a pest snail by assassin snails, but then they breed like rabbits, and you end up with 10 ton of assassin snails. So what gets rid of assassin snails? Clown loach. Ooh, inside. I'd leave it, mate, if it's not too bad. Have some apple snail. They're huge, dangerous. Eat them. I know, Pete. I have had apple snails before, mate. To be honest, they do a job for algae for sure. I had apple snails in my Piranha tanks years ago. It was the only thing that I could put in the Piranha tank that survived, because I had a set up tank years and years ago. I set up a tank for Piranha. Bought 4 Piranha, 1 wild, 4 farmed, all from the same shop on the same day. The tank was set up for them. Put it in. It was like a blackwater tank. It was perfect for him. And within half an hour, I had 1 Piranha, the wild one, and he'd just gone and savaged the rest. He was downright nasty. That's what it was. He had attitude. This wild Piranha, he had attitude, and I tried a few different things. I'd really gone into Piranha. I had, and I kind of knew quite a lot about them. I've probably forgot most of it now, really, because it was like 25 years ago. But I tried everything. Things that live in the Amazon side by side. I tried a red-tailed black shark in there. No chance. Tried a few things, nothing. So I thought I'll have a go at apple snails. So I bought 2 apple snails, and he left them alone. It was like, yes. So I bought 6 more. Yes, leaves them alone. I'm like, nice. We've got something in there that can keep the algae away. And they're in there 6 to 8 months easily. And one morning I woke up and all 8 apple snails were floating on the top. And all 8 apple snails had a bite taken out of them. So whether one had said something to him in the night that peed him off, I don't know. But in one night, he savaged every single snail in there. He was savage. But I wish it was the days where we had decent cameras on our phones, because he was awesome. He was gorgeous. And like, I used to feed him prawns, and my mates would ring me up and say, "Have you fed your piranha yet?" No. Like, on our way around. And they come round just to see me eat prawn. Crazy, because he was savage. Would I keep him again? You know, mate, they are dirty. They have a weird way of eating. You don't really see it when you see them. When you see the videos of them like take say like a steak apart, right? Yeah, you see them rip it off and they swim off, right? Yeah. But what you don't see, right? Yeah, is the fact that they bite it and they spit it out, and they chew it again, spit it out, and suck it back in. You don't see that on those videos, because that's what they do. And so you can imagine tank running at about 80 degrees with whatever you choose to feed them. You've got, right? So you do have to feed them live food, guys. You do have to feed them. If you're looking into getting piranha, you do have to feed them live fish. It's the way it is. You can't turn them vegan, right? Yeah, it's not happening. They need live food in the diet, because that's what they eat. If you'd had a shoal in the wild, they pick off the injured fish, the diseased fish. That's what they do in the wild. They kind of help keep diseased fish low in the wild. It's like pike in the UK. Any predator fish tend to go for the weakest. They don't go for the big. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. They go for the weakest. That's what they're there to do. They take out the weak. But I don't know, Will, if I would have him again, mate. I don't know. I got rid of him because it was time. I got rid of him, I should say, because of time in the end. Because they need constant water changes. You need to pretty much, if you feed them daily, you need to gravel vac daily. Otherwise, you've just got whatever you've fed them, you've just got that rotting at the bottom. Because once it hits the bottom, they're not asked. They don't want it anymore. So they don't go round scavenging afterwards. It's pretty much, well, he didn't anyway. He pretty much went for the kill. He was savage though. Savage. Them guppies will bring in loads of babies for you, Reese. They're amazing, especially if you can separate them as well. That's the best way of doing it, isn't it? You're going to end up with loads. What a size tank? Well, I had them in a 3-foot tank, but I only ever had plans of getting 4. So that was kind of all right. But you do see, like, on Instagram, you'll see shoals of like 20 or 30, and they're in probably, I'd go a little bit bigger than that, to be perfectly honest. I'd look at like a 6-foot tank, maybe 6 foot. Would that be like 450, 500 litre for a shoal of maybe 8? But like I say, if you are like thinking of it, you've got to be prepared to feed them live food. And when I say live food, other fish, I don't mean like giving them daphnia and bloodworm. Different level of live food. It's the way it is. You've got to accept that that's the way it is. Just got to do it. Things like, earlier on, if anyone was out, I was talking about going to a shop and there was like loads of betters in this shop that were all on the bottom. They had swim bladder issues. Maybe they would be the type of fish that you'd feed to piranha, but sadly enough, that's what you've got to do. If you're prepared to do it, it's like if you've got a snake, you've got to be prepared to feed them mice. It's just the way it is. Aren't they massive? Oh, they get different types. There's different types, mate. Mine was red belly, and he got to about 8-inch, something like that. He got to. He was a beast, mate. He was a beast. I did enjoy keeping him. I did. It was an experience because they kind of get a bad rep through the films and etc. Like the film from, I think Piranha, the film Piranha came out in the 70s, and that's kind of where they got the bad rep. But you could put your hand in the tank, it wasn't a problem. You just had to make sure that you had no cuts, either fresh or even like a week old with a scab over it. You couldn't put your hand in if you had any form of cut on your hand, because as soon as your hand enters the water on a scab or cut, anything, that little bit of blood that hits the water, the piranha sense it straight away. Once that blood hits the water, hunt mode. So you just have to be careful putting your hands in there. No cuts. You're quite fine as long as you put your hand in there and kind of just move slowly. If you tried to, like, why you're bleeding wood anyway, but if you tried to corner him with your hand, well, you'd lose a finger for sure. But why would you try? Why would you try? I guess some people do. Yes, some people do. There's a. I've got it on my phone. I should put it up I should put it on a post on my channel. There's a sign. It must be somewhere like Australia or Florida or something like that. Please do not molest the alligators. So putting a sign up like that makes you think, well, someone must have done something. And to make it sign worthy, surely more than 10 people have been caught molesting alligators to make it sign worthy. I don't know. But it's weird, isn't it? Are they green on top? The red bellies, the red belly piranha is pretty much just a silver fish with it, and when they're in like great condition, they're really nice red belly and have like a protruding bottom jaw. But they are like, but there's loads you can get. There's like a yellow piranha. There's loads of different ones, mate. There's like there's Pacu as well. Pacu are like a vegetarian piranha, if you will. Sounds like, but they've even now been known to start predating on fish as well. Things are changing. You've always got room for your fry. Got to, Reese, haven't you? Got to, mate. Did you ever get nipped? I don't think it's a nip, mate, with a piranha. They'll take. You know, but no, mate, I didn't. When I had my hand in there, I was well aware of where he was. If he went out of sight, my hand came out of the tank, because they'll take a finger for sure. And he was, mate, he was vicious. He was vicious. It's like I say, I had to feed him live food, so it's not going to be a shock to you that I fed him live food, because you've got to. If you're going into something like that, you've got to look into them first, lots of research, and you've got to be prepared to give them what they need. So I used to go to like the aquarium and try and get the fish that weren't looking good, you know what I mean, and just say, look, I need, and then take the poorly fish. But with him, they kind of, it was crazy. So you say you put a fish in the tank with him, say he was like swimming mid-water. This is how he worked. This is how this one was. And you see, like when they're in groups, you see the frantic as hell, and they'll strip something to the bone within minutes. Yeah, but he was on his own, and he wasn't destined to be on his own. He made it that way. Nothing he couldn't live with. No, he couldn't live with anything. He had issues, and so you put a fish in. So he was like mid-water, and he'd kind of, as soon as the fish hit the water, it was proper mad. This, I'll be honest, this is why my mates used to come round, because it was like it was weird, right? So as soon as you put a fish in the water, he'd nose dive to the bottom of the tank, right? Yeah, and as he hit the bottom, he'd just fall over, and he would just lie there. And like, I lived at home when I had them, and then the many a time where back in the day, it was like you'd have a pager, and I'd get a page off my mum, and she'd be like, I'd ring her, and she's like, I think your piranha's dead. Why? It's lay on the bottom. No, it's all right. There's a fish in there. And that's what he'd do, and he'd lie on the bottom. And if you ever notice, if a fish dies in your tank and it's been there maybe like an hour, you'd probably notice that most of the time the eyes have gone, because they kind of eat each other's eyes, don't they? It's a bit weird. It must be a delicacy in the fish world or something, but they kind of take each other's eyes. And it'd just lie there. And as the fish comes along that you've put in there, sees the piranha and thinks, ooh, big eye. As he got near, he just go, boom. That was it. Game over. It was vicious. It was vicious. It was vicious. It was mad. Like I say, I wish it was the times when you had camera on your phone, you know. Like if I had him now and like put it on, honestly, it'd light up a YouTube channel, because he was like, it was something else. It was weird. He kind of stalked them, but let them come to him, if you will. They were an experience. I had to watch the live, but I had to come in like a lead. Cheers, Josh. Hopefully you're still in here, buddy. I was waffling on there, kind of missed your message, but thanks for dropping a like anyway, mate. It's always good to see. He used himself as bait. He did, mate. It was honestly, it was a proper experience. It really was, and didn't like chase him around. He just left it. He just dropped and left it for them to come to him. Totally different. I take it, if he had been like a pack fish, he probably would have hunted totally different. But he wouldn't live with anyone. He was proper angry. It was an angry fish, and sadly, I had him for about 2 years, and I took him to a place in Great Harwood, which is like a few miles away from me, not too far, but it was like a really good aquarium, and they took him off me because it was just because it was so dirty. Just because it was so dirty, the amount of work you had to do every day on the tank, and they took him off, and I went in a couple of weeks later, and some guy had bought him and just thrown a piece of cod in the tank, and then just left it, and within a few days he died. So I'll be honest, proper at the time, like proper annoyed, really annoyed, because I took this fish on, and yeah, I gave him 2 years of like as great a life as what I could, if you know what I mean, and in the best foods. Like I say, yeah, prawns most of the time. Prawns, and then like about every other week I'd feed him a live fish. So he got like the best food. Prawns, yeah, better than me. But yeah, to find out that whoever bought him had killed it, it was like, yeah, it pissed me off, to be honest. I don't think I should swear, I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, it did piss me off. Yeah. Will, I'll be honest, mate. I think he was. But he was they were kind of already bagged. They'd asked me to give them a nod when I was going, because they kind of triple bagged it. Because he was like, they were something else. Yeah, they triple bagged him, but they were all, each fish was in a separate bag when I got there. So, but like I say, I'd put him in. I floated him, put them all in, and I'll be honest, I went for a pee, and there's this commotion, water going everywhere, and I run in, and there was like two dead piranha on the bottom. Both had if you pretty much will, and I'd had the throat ripped out. Honestly, it was vicious. They'd had like the throat ripped out, and then there was another one at the top, and it had its tail completely ripped off, and I ended up euthanizing that one because it took a bite out of its stomach and bit its tail off. It was vicious. It was vicious. It was an eye opener. It was an eye opener. I don't really know how long they're supposed to live, but like I say, sadly, whoever took it on killed it. It annoyed me, but also I've always been the same anyway. But it always just makes sure everyone, when people are buying new fish, research what they want first. Don't go into buying something like a piranha if you're not prepared to give it what it needs. You know what I mean? It's one of them, innit? Yeah, I probably had a little bit over Will, but to be honest, like the shop I used, the shop is actually still there, and it isn't really that great. But back in the 80s and 90s, it was an old couple that had this shop, and it was spot on. It really was. So I kind of trusted him, but I don't think I've never really thought that he had me over until you've just mentioned it. I'd never really thought of it before, but yeah, lesson learned for me there. I think it was the wild factor. To be honest, I think if I had got 4 farmed, I think it'd have been okay, because they all seem to really like. Well, I can't really say they seem to get on, but they didn't go ripping the shit out of anyone else, did they? It was just him. It was just him, and I think it was because he was wild. I think it was just like probably coming to a new tank with 3 other fish that are finding the fins and getting the territory, and he's just gone, right, this tank's mine. I'm having it. He must have done. It was frightening, but he was just vicious. Nothing could go in there. Nothing. He was crazy. Oh, all wild, yeah. I'll be honest now, mate. When I think back, I was young and just got him, but I don't know whether it's hard to tell if you're buying wild fish anyway, innit? But yeah, I don't know whether I'd want to buy wild, or it kind of keep them where they are, innit? Keep them where they are. There's so many fish that are like endangered. Like a majority of rainbow fish are endangered. So yeah, I'm not really one for like. If I was gonna buy wild rainbow fish, I'd buy them for breeding and do for more like conservation, if you will. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan of buying endangered wild caught fish, because like a majority of rainbow fish are endangered. Like the blue rainbow fish is a bit of a mad one. The blue rainbow fish, also known as Lake Katubu rainbow fish, every 2 years there's like a surge of silt from the bottom of the lake that comes up. No one knows why it does it. It must be like some geyser under there or something like that. And there's a surge of silt that goes up, depletes all the oxygen in the water, and 90% of the blue rainbow fish die. For that reason, it's like critically endangered. So yeah, I don't really want to be buying wild ones when that's going on. Yeah, I'm the same, Will. I'm the same. I don't know where they are, a lot of them. I don't. You see, you don't know what you're buying, do you? You don't know whether they've been have they been farmed abroad and brought in, or have they been caught wild and brought in? You never 100%, are you? But I'd always try and go for farmed over wild for sure. But then, are you getting a weakened bloodline by buying farmed? Because let's face it, all these fish breeders are not going out and getting new pairs all the time, are they? They'll just take males and females from the fry that they've already done and reared. You've got a new supply of fish, so you're gonna have brother and sisters mating, aren't you? So it does over time weaken the bloodline. That's why so many deficiencies with neon tetras and guppies, because they're so interbred. So there's always that. Have you ever had you know what, Reese? Mollies have always really interested me. They have. Sorry, my dad was a big lover of mollies. He had mollies when because my dad got me into the hobby. But when I kind of got into the hobby properly, I had fish from being 8, but when I really started taking it seriously, when I was left school and that, it was always seen as they needed slightly brackish water. So I've always shied away from them because of that. I don't know. It's just that's the reason why I've always shied away from mollies. But in all fairness, mollies were the fish that I remember were the ones that got me into the hobby. Because I was 8 when I got into the hobby, so I was still at primary school. And the last 2 years of primary school, I had the same teacher, because you used to change teacher for every year. The last 2 years, you had the same teacher. And the last 3 years, I think it was actually. But he brought a fish tank into the classroom, 3-foot tropical tank, and we'd do lessons about it and things like that. And then over around a Friday, we used to always have a spelling test and a maths test. And we were doing the maths test, and I was kind of looking. My desk was right next to the fish tank, and I was looking, and the molly had babies, and I was like, Mr. Peter, the molly's having babies. And halfway through the maths test, and every kid just stood up and went round the tank. So that just destroyed the maths test. But mollies are what got me into it, really. It's something about seeing a fish actually giving birth to babies. It's quite amazing. It's quite amazing. You have a pair of black mollies. Have you got your water slightly brackish, Reese, or it's always just something that's always made me shy away from him? Robson Santos, thank you for joining us today, my friend. But yeah, that's kind of why I've never really kept mollies. But I do like them. But if I was going to have them, I think I'd want them on a species only tank anyway. So you could go into brackish slightly. I don't think they need it massively salty. I'm not quite sure. Sound keeps going, does it, Ian? Thanks for letting us know. I am going to come off in a minute anyway. It's times the lights will go out. In fact, no, it's on blue light. That's on blue light now, but you can't tell on stream. There's no way that's looking blue. But yeah, that will go out in a second. All right, I have to keep us informed on that, Reese, and see how it goes. I'm intrigued with that because I do like mollies, the race. Like I say, my dad used to love his mollies. Where have you been to Premier Aquatics in Runcorn? They have some amazing fish. I have, Pete. I have. I actually did it a few months ago. I did Premier Aquatics, and I went over the bridge and did Finest Aquatics at Widnes. Have you ever done that? That, to be honest, that's a bloody good journey, but you come across that bridge and there's no, I didn't see any signs telling you that you have to pay to go over the bridge. And there's nowhere, you don't go through any way of paying. So when I got to like Finest Aquatics, I was like, do you have to pay to go over that bridge? Like, yeah, mate. I'm like, where? You don't pay anywhere, and you have to do it on an app. They don't tell you. It's a bit of a scam, and if you don't pay within 24 hours, it's a 30 quid fine. So if you do that trip, Pete, and you go over across that new bridge, just be careful, mate, because it is a massive fine if you don't pay. But guys, I am going to call it a day. We will be back on Friday at 8 o'clock, and then Saturday from around about 2ish. Just like to thank everyone that's been in tonight. It's been a great evening again. Oh, nice, Reese. Nice. Oh, maybe, I don't know about the brackish water. It might be a myth. But I've always been under the belief that they do are a bit slightly brackish. Take care, Will. Take care to everybody. If anyone's not a subscriber to the channel, ding the subscribe button. Like I say, we're back on Friday at 8 p.m. There's a video released at 3:15 Friday afternoon. And I will see you Friday at 8. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening. Bye now.